to declare this tournament, this FIFA World Cup virtual tournament, to be opened.
Thank you.
Let's it go. Oh, it's gone in. Oh, yes, it's there. Has to clear it. Go on, the keeper. The keeper beaten. That's in the box. It's a goal.
川西さん、今日の試合どう予想されますか？
両チームともタレントが揃っているんで非常に激しい試合が予想されますよ。
両チームキャプテンを先頭に入場します。イングランド対アルゼンチン、勝負は見ものです。サムエル、今日は絶好調ですね。
今日の注目選手です。
ジャンピングヘッド、フィスティング、よくしのいだ。キャンベル、左へパスを通します。サビに入って押し込め、フィスティング、よくしのいだ。アシュレイ・コール、こ
こはしっかりつながないと。
前に何人いるんでしょうか。ベッカム、前、バーンビー、出た。ファールを取られたようです。ライトニングヘッド、ガリー・ネビル、ファーサイド、クロスバー直撃、キーパー。先制点。オーウェン、前、これが通れば面白い。ここで打つ。イエス、ゴー。一発退場。
Eradicated. Good work. Proceed to the next objective. We're taking serious fire. We need backup.
gets his finger caught in a bottle of Mr. Pibb. And they go on adventures, I think it could be big. Is it too soon to whisper Oscar? Put a happy ending there and it'll write itself, I swear. All we need are some meetings and a lead. I got an idea for a movie. It's about this guy who wished and wished till it came true, and now this kid can fly. I got an idea for a movie, and here's my pitch. I get a job and quit my band, and you stop being a bitch. And we will have adventures like the boy in the bottle did. Is it too soon to whisper Oscar? Put a happy ending there and it'll write itself, I swear. All we need are some meetings and a lead. With a happy ending there, this thing will write itself, I swear. All we need is some trick photography.
Let's get it on, guys!
Yes, as far as the story goes, Mr. Nojima, who is the story writer, obviously had certain ideas of how FF10 is going to develop in terms of stories. But when we all get together for the first time for the FF10 development in a place where we had some drinks, what we said to each other was, of course, we have to make sure that the dramatic story would reach its highest point, as well as making sure that the game aspect of the play will be somehow achieved. So it was very important for us to get certain balance between the dramatic aspect of the game and also game element of it. But we really wanted to somehow achieve the highest point in terms of dramatic elements of the game. The biggest challenge for us was how to make the characters real, because they are, after all, electronic characters. But as he said, that the theme of this game is the relationships between the father and the child. And when the relationships come to a certain conclusion or solved, we wanted to make sure that the players would get certain emotional feelings and that they could identify themselves with the characters, that the characters are real, not just these electronic characters and not that digital characters. It's not like that. We wanted them to feel that they are the real characters and that their emotions would be somehow moved by the final by the scene where the relationships were solved. So I think that was the most challenging aspect of us, to get this human sense, if you like, of it. I think what we feel most proud is that because this is a highly dramatized game, but at the same time we didn't ignore the play aspect of the game itself. So the fun of playing the game was as important as the dramatic element of the story. And for example, the battle system was very sophisticated. So I think we are very proud that we managed to get a very well-balanced game, both in terms of dramatic aspect of the play and the game elements. More or less 8 months I put aside for music composing, not only for the FF10 but for any games. About 8 months on average. And of course the way I start music is that first to get the scenario and then start music. I have brought up with the rock and roll music, and for the first time in the FF10, at the very beginning, the scene, I introduced this rather loud rock and roll music, and I think I personally feel very proud of that. As far as I'm concerned, I was in Hollywood at the time, when the final stage was coming, to do the voiceover. So I was not with the team on the final stage, but I was really very much homesick, and I sent lots of email to my colleagues, but I didn't really have any reply at all, and that made me feel even more homesick. So that's what I remember, actually. But I guess that the fact that they didn't give me a reply, but they were so busy with the deadline coming up and so forth, but sometimes I had replies and they were written in the early hours of the morning in Japan, so I really guessed what was it like in Japan, just to meet the deadline. Yes. In terms of schedule, when you're nearing the final stage of a game, you have to do the test plays and so forth, and because this time we had the voiceover, it was very interesting, and the story itself was very dramatic, and the battle system was interesting. So we, as a team, felt that we ourselves were enjoying this test game, doing the test, and that we had this real feeling of, wow, we have made something quite fantastic. So also we were really pressed for the time and schedule, and the work itself was very hard. At the same time, we had certain fulfillment. We felt the sense of fulfillment, that we made something which is quite fantastic. I think with any games, as you approach the final stage of making game, creators got together and talked this and that. And with this FF10, I think we all had a sense of having achieved something quite fantastic, quite extraordinary. And we received those interviews from Japanese journalists. And then I kept saying that this game is going to be something like epoch-making game. That was really a feeling we had. It really was an epoch-making game. I think it was intentional actually this time, because with the previous one, for example, with the battle scene, sometimes it's paintings at the background, but sometimes you get 3D and so forth. So there are a lot of different techniques used, and it was rather sort of, it was very inconsistent. So we didn't want to repeat that with the new FF10. So maybe that's why it's very linear this time.
Yeah.
Yes. As far as the contents goes, the movie and the game, they are separate, which is not separate. But of course, the movie exploits the latest, very much high, if you like, the really advanced technologies. So we wanted to exploit this know-how in our games, and we got lots of feedback from the technologies which is used in the movie to our game. I think this time, FF11 will be online 100%, but as far as FF12 is concerned, it's going back to be played on the PlayStation 2 offline. So I don't think that in the future all the games would be online at all. It's we have to choose a platform which is suitable for the game we are thinking of, and challenging these new technologies which might be available at the future time. Yes, as far as the hardware is concerned, obviously it has to develop so that we would be able to somehow, in terms of visual images, would be able to create or introduce something as good as the film visual effects. But I think in the future we will have to see the fusion of game element and drama and visual elements in a game. So, but as far as the hardware development is concerned, we are not directly involved. But we only hope that this experience with FF10 on the movie would somehow enhance the graphic quality of the PlayStation or whatever the hardware we might see in the future. And so I hope that the hardware would learn something from the experience that we had on the movie this time. Once we received a fan letter saying that unless I receive a reply, I shall commit suicide. Anyway, we had this kind of letter 3 times, and each time the fan said, I haven't received your letter, I am going to commit suicide. Seriously this time. So the same letter arrived 3 times, so I'm now beginning to worry whether this person really committed suicide or not. I think what surprised us most is that our company, Squaresoft, is listed on the stock exchange. So once a year we have shareholders' general assembly, and with 100 shares you could be a shareholder of our company. For normal shareholders meeting, kind of questions you get is about the management of the company, how the business is doing, and so forth. But with our company, the shareholders are some of the characters from the FF7. There's someone called Ares or something who died at FF7, and some shareholders ask, is she going to come back in the future FF series, and so forth. So I think that's very characteristics of our company, that fans and the shareholders are the same. There is a game called ICO. Yes, yeah. ICO. Yes, I have been telling that in many different countries. I've been advertising this. A game called AIDS Combat or something. Yes. That's my favorite. I like the genre of the F1 games. I think we were able to indulge ourselves throughout, actually, as long as we can sell the product. Unfortunately, once we finish something, we have to move on to the next one. So we don't have time to think about, rewarding ourselves or indulging ourselves. I can't remember what I rewarded myself, but I seem to recall saying to my wife that I should reward myself with something, but I can't remember what I bought. I think I must have bought something to do, some products, something to do video, like DVD players or something like that. Yes. I have just finished FF11 and doing the next step. And two of us have just started some new, which I can't tell you now, but it is obviously to do with Final Fantasy. Yes, the message that the game has been launched in Japan and in the US market, and those who played it have given us very high, good sort of comments of the game, and us creators who are involved in the FF10, as I said earlier, have feeling a certain extent of satisfaction and fulfillment of coming out with something really quite extraordinary, and I do hope that the European people would be able to enjoy that as much as we did.
The first game starts just after D-Day, close to the end of the war. The second game, Medal of Honor Underground, really starts before the first one. We've got D-Day, and then sort of we take a break till just before Market Garden. And most of this game takes place between the third and fourth missions of the first game. World War II is massive. It spanned, many theaters of operation in many years, tons of battles. So, I think there's a lot of stories that can be told within that. World War II was really about squad combat. I've started this time introducing some characters who you fight alongside or help, and there's more allies in the game who, fight alongside. And I think that's somewhere we're looking to try and go, to put the player into a squad setting so that a lot of it you're sort of fighting alongside. You get emotionally attached to these characters, and sometimes they'll weave in and out of the storyline. You even get more of a sense of actually being there, being attached to people who fight or do nice things or bad things, or just your mates. There's two sort of sets of teammates that you fight alongside. Some are sort of just general soldiers. They have AI similar to the Germans. Sometimes there's a few places where we have battles between the two sides, and you can almost just sit there and watch. We do all of this various combat, and the tides of battle turn as they swing back and forth. And then we have some other sort of more specialized characters who've got some scripting where they go along, one of them heading through the Dutch countryside with a buddy who's out destroying tanks. So you can sort of protect him and make sure he doesn't get taken out as he destroys tanks. You can come upon a group of Germans, and some of them will rush forward and grab cover points to the front. Others will split to the side, and you get some cowardly ones who kind of head back to the rear. By giving different soldiers that you're fighting different abilities, you can actually see that evolve in the game. And so every time you get into a situation, you don't exactly know what they're going to do. There's more ability for them to, they do ambushes, they work together as a team. If you shoot the gunner, the feeder will pull his body off and take over the gun. Other situations, there'll be an empty machine gun, and they'll actually run to it and take it over and man it against you. You can see the same thing happen in reverse, actually, if you're fighting in missions with your allies, where they'll go. We'll take it over. Really see combat evolve. Sometimes where we've got the two forces facing off against each other, it's neat to just sit and watch. See them fight each other. Somebody lobs a grenade, the other side will pick it back up and throw it back, and it can get into some pretty intense moments. Our lead designer, Chris Cross, spends basically all his time, trying to come up with the levels, figure out how to balance the moments in them, balance that in the context of trying to keep it at least somewhat accurate. Again, we try and be more authentic than accurate, so we take some liberties with the way things actually happen. We want you to be the hero. So while with Frontline we're able to have a lot more enemies on screen and actually have allies on screen as well. So we can immerse you in battles, and sometimes you're fighting alongside American soldiers or British soldiers, which is a really great feeling in there. You know, at the end of the day, we still want you to be the hero. So we have to take, again, some liberties with that, balance it that way. But by adding allies, we were able to, you know, kind of up the German forces while at the same time not overwhelming the player. Something we really strive for is, you know, trying to have a story that's believable, trying to get you emotionally involved. And I think that as we move forward in some of the products that we'll be working on, you'll have yet more of a feeling of really being there. World War II is really about squad level combat. Squads are about the people that you're fighting with and the people that you get to know through the course of this. And I think that, you know, we do that with Barnes a little bit. Allied Assault introduced Powell. I think we'll be continuing to both introduce some new characters and have them weave in and out of the storyline. Our art director, Dimitri Ellingson, and producers on the project, John Garcia Shelton, actually traveled through, you know, a lot of Europe, went to all the locations, took photographic reference, traveled really, you know, all through Arnhem and Nijmegen Bridge. I think a lot of what they're looking for is, you know, both the texture and the feeling of the locations. You know, every place has got its own type of stone. Buildings built in a certain area have a feeling. They've all got their own type of vegetation. Something we really strive to do, and with the PlayStation 2 we're really able to create, is environments that look like they really do. And I guess they were trying to make sure that they could capture that from those places by taking pictures of the buildings, by, you know, and also just getting a sense of what it was like to be there. My favorite level is Destroyed Arnhem. You're fighting, you know, alongside British troops at the destroyed center of Arnhem. The music for that level is a very sad piece. You get a sense of just how devastating war can be, really. I mean, you can see all of the buildings that used to be, you know, a town center and people's homes. There's walls caved in, and this fighting's going on there, and it's very poignant. It just came together really well. It's a beautiful looking game. Enemy as well as the allies that you know, fight alongside and against behave intelligently. The characters came out beautifully. Sounds fantastic. It was quite a heroic effort. I'm proud that we got there. You know, we've been working overtime and weekends for about 6 months, and the team is just so passionate about it that it was something that everyone was just willing to do, sacrificing their personal time to get it out.
Match 3-0, it went good, and hopefully I just need a draw to get into the next round now on my last 2 matches.
Who did you play in the first round?
It was a girl. I'm not sure what her name was, but we were both representing the same team, so it was England versus England.
How do you feel about the fact that the Brazilian world champion might be here?
Well, Brazil are a good team, but the way the tournament's set out is each team, their attributes are set at the same level, so there's no advantages with being a better country. So someone like Brazil versus Cameroon, it's going to be an even match.
Are you confident?
Yeah, I'm confident. I've won the first match, and I'm just going to see what happens now. Hope for the best. Well, it was 1-1, but I was in control the whole match, and my opponent equalised on the 90th minute. But hopefully, in the next match, a draw would guarantee that I go through to the knockout stage.
How did you feel when his goal went in?
I was devastated. I was sure I won the match, so I'll just try my best for the final match.
So what do we need in the next match to go through?
I need a draw to go through, and that's 5 points. That'll guarantee a place in the next round, and I'll just see what happens.
All right, you guys? Who's the loudest one over here then?
Oh, Turok, yes! Turok,
Well, I'm through to the knockout stage now, the second round, and I just beat a very good player there. It was 1-0, and apparently he's with a different group, and he was their best player, so that gives me a good chance in the tournament.
Fantastic. How did you feel when he went clean through on goal?
It felt good when I scored, but from then on I thought he was going to equalise, and I was starting to get nervous towards the end.
Did you win? Voyager.
7 points, 6 points. Congratulations to you guys. Hi guys, is we're going to do a quick shout all together.
He needs to watch his feet there. Penalty. The ref had no hesitation in going to the spot. Only just right on the edge of the box now. Oh, not a save. The keeper making it lead. Yet another goal. There goes the whistle and they claim victory here, much to the pleasure of the manager. And there's a happy team here.
That was brilliant, that match. I was feeling confident before it started, and I was sure I was going to win, and the result was 3-0, and that's put me through to the quarterfinals now. So from now I'm just going to see what happens. It's like being in a real stadium. You have to really be here to feel the atmosphere. I got beat by a German 2-0 in the quarterfinals.
How are you feeling?
I'm pretty disappointed. I thought I might have had a good chance against him, but it didn't turn out that way.
What went wrong?
I just defensively went to pieces, and he was too efficient, just like Germans, typical.
I'd love to see it be a final between England and Ireland. I doubt very much if that will happen. However, if you give me 100 quid of your money, and I've said this to a few of the lads today, I would probably put it on either France or Argentina.
Hold it up high. There we go.
Just touched down outside U.S. Outpost 31. No contact with the crew in more than 3 months. We thought it was just a down transmitter, but when we saw the camp from the air, it was obvious there was no one left. What the hell happened here? I don't like it.
Oh my God. Once you get infected, it becomes a perfect imitation of you.
They're afraid. We were lied to about this mission and they know it. Or do they think I lied to them?
Get away from me! You're one of them!
One of us is infected. And I know it's not me.
How are your men holding up, Blake?
They're still alive. But I'm not sure which ones are human.
Jesus Christ.
Captain Blake's team's been exposed. Burn them.
It's McCready.
You're a smart man, Captain Blake. I'd like to get inside that head of yours.
I'm only asking you to trust me.
大変だ。蜂蜜がなくなっちゃった。蜂蜜の木がある。
jump on the ball and makes the catch. Very tough pitch to hit. The fastball cruised right by him for strike 3. Driven way back toward left center field. Gone 487 feet.
That one's gone in a hurry, and he just crushed it.
That pitch hit hard. They take a 2-run lead on the home run by Abreu. And the side is retired. They strand 1 here in the second.
Great location. Fastball down in the strike zone for the ground out.
To left. Safe.
That's a nice yacker right there for the ground out.
And the Yankees take the lead. That ball is going to get out of here in a hurry. Home run.
This ball is just absolutely crushed, Tommy. I mean, it should be illegal to hit a ball farther than you can see it land.
Game, set, and match. Kornikova. 1-0.
Jeu 7 et match sans prince. 1-7-0.
Advantage Rafter.
I'm like a superhero with a secret identity. Exterminate the whack, then relax in serenity. I'm like a superhero with a secret identity. Exterminate the whack, then relax in serenity. Exterminate.
Girlfriend.
Oh, my savior. Get the eye mod. It's on that table. Oh, get me out of here. I'm ready for Jul-2002.
Hey, be careful.
It's not working. We don't have time for this.
No, wait, don't!
I told you. Well, what was I supposed to do?
First strike.
Well-placed pass. Can't hold on to it. Nice pass. That's a well-placed through pass. Pressing forward. blocked by the keeper. It's in the back of the net. What a lethal finish. England have equalised.
What a sweet shot there. Saves the day there, Simon.
Superbly executed, and England have levelled the game.
Oh, he really hammered that one into the net.
You're about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. In company with our brave allies and brothers-in-arms on other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny over the oppressed peoples of Europe, and security for ourselves in a free world. Your task will not be an easy one. Your enemy is well-trained, well-equipped, and battle-hardened. He will fight savagely. I have full confidence in your courage, devotion to duty, and skill in battle. We will accept nothing less than full victory.
Stay with me and we'll get through this! We've gotta take that
Private John Castro, 451616707.
He'll die, I say!
That's all you're getting out of me, crowd.
Useless.
Let's go.
Final round. Fight. Final round. Fight. Final round. Fight.
Fight one. Ready, go! Fight one. Ready, go!
さて戦いましょうか。
我に敵なし。Fight one. Ready, go!
Come on!
So. Round one, fight!
Puts it through. Sends it back. Nice pass. Absolutely incredible. Brazil are back in this game. The shot. Superb finishing. Brazil pull ahead.
Fish. Player 1, the pack is hot. On your 10. Backside 540. Frontside 360. Forward flip with the tail grab. To a combo.
Oh, aye, aye.
Time to get tricky. Backside 180. Frontside 180. Player 1. The breaking trick.
What I'm talking about.
Genki
I
guy.
wrote the textbook, baby. Ozzy.
Fight! Round 2, fight! You win! Fight!
Get spun, your mind stunned. Ball one, amongst the madness. Next beat, this amongst the madness. Your body collides to the rhythm. Ball one, amongst the madness. The next beat, this part two, moving amongst the madness. Let your body collide to the rhythm. Part two. I breaks it down with DJ searching by loop, dissecting edits to the movement, the jam, the hands of motion, causing commotion. No one's a buzzing every speaker. The soul with the next man sound that's bound to reach you in your urban area. Building a stereo that was bringing down. I'm bringing the along like to the source, so heed the warning. Sonics perform, rhythms that bring down the picture. It stretched up, conceptions of the uses of the
the next array finesse. And all that mess. We stressing the point, coming wet hot, to hit ya. The next one, flexing the set, bound to get ya. Moving amongst the madness, far what? Absolutely.
Congratulations! You've killed everybody!
Freeze. Freeze.
non-essential personnel report to the holds in 10 minutes' time for the scheduled briefing session with the Commandant. You are ordered to continue manning your posts until that time.
What? Somebody there? Who's there? Don't sneak up on me like that. Nah, it was just my imagination playing tricks on me.
At the moment, every industrialized nation on the globe knows the specifications for Metal Gear. Worse yet, so do a number of rogue states. They are all working on deploying their own Metal Gear force to compete with the US's nuclear strike capability. The world is about to see a swarm of these Metal Gear derivatives. Ours is not the only military project devoted to Metal Gear development, but it cannot be more different in nature from the Navy's. Theirs is a program that will add fuel to the uncontrolled fire of nuclear proliferation. It is a fact that players in favor of such a policy are attempting to derail our own Ray project. But I promise industrialized nation on the globe knows the specifications for Metal Gear. Worse yet, so do a number of rogue states. They are all working on deploying their own Metal Gear force to compete with the US's nuclear strike capability. The world is about to see a swarm of these Metal Gear derivatives. Ours is not the only military project devoted to Metal Gear development, but it cannot be more different in nature from the Navy's. Theirs is a program that will add fuel to the uncontrolled fire of nuclear proliferation. It is a fact that players in favor of such a policy are attempting to derail our own Ray project. But I promise you that they will not succeed. At the moment, every industrialized nation on the globe knows the specifications for Metal Gear. Worse yet.
So, any codec moments from you, Snake? The first one I'm seeing is... Ah, this is what? Nothing. It's nothing. But this isn't a photo of Metal Gear anyway. Sorry, but you're gonna have to go back and shoot another set. I'll just make a backup of this one. The next image is... More of these? Is that all you think about? Hey, what you like is your business. Just get those Metal Gear pictures. I'll just make a backup of this one. Okay, what am I seeing now? You're on a mission here, remember? I'll just make a backup of this one. Okay, what am I seeing now? So, this explains a lot. Not that there's anything wrong with keeping it to yourself. I mean, you know, it's your life and everything. But you're going to have to take those Metal Gear photos now. Okay, what am I seeing now? What is this? Snake, this isn't a game we're playing here. I'll just make a backup of this one. Okay, last one's coming up. Hey, this is the Marine Commandant. Are you a fan or something? We need 4 images. One from the front right, the front, and the front left, and a close-up of the Marines marking on the prototype. Get the prototype on camera.